I'm a fart. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host, Connie, and today we're here with my big fucking mistake. We're here with episodes 17 through 19 of Adventure Time Season 8, and just right off the bat, you may be wondering, oh, where's 14 through 16? Did you just skip 3 episodes? No, I'm just a fucking moron. See, when we had that issue the other week where my audio was turned down super low and everything, like that's one thing, because that was some weird issue that happened. That wasn't really my fault or doing. This time it's completely on me, and I can't blame anything but myself. I recorded the pre-thoughts and my reaction to episodes 14 through 16 before I realized I did not have my mic plugged in. The microphone that I have, like, right here, it's just off camera for you. It's a USB microphone. It was not plugged in at all. And OBS didn't compensate by, like, oh, we're going to take the audio from the webcam or from the computer. It didn't even compensate with anything like that. Because the mic settings were just set to this microphone, so it just, like, didn't record any audio. So technically I have the reaction, but it's like, it's pretty much not there. Like, you can hear the audio of the episode, but not me. Like, and it's not even a case where, oh, if you just put in headphones and turn it up all the way, you'd be able to hear me. No. You won't be able to hear me at all, because there's no audio for me, because I fucked up. It's one of those moments where it's just like, maybe it's just because of my mental illnesses and stuff, but it's like, it just really bums me out. Because again, it's a different situation than with what happened the other week with like my adventures with Superman and stuff, where it's like, oh, something messed up. That's not something that's my fault. That's not something that I'm, like, the issue there. That's a mistake, but it's not my mistake. This was entirely on me. I'm the one who forgot to plug in the microphone. I went through the entire 3 episodes, and I was about to record the afterthoughts. And I didn't notice, because I'm a fucking moron. I don't even know how I didn't notice, because it's literally, like, right here. My microphone is basically right in front of my face, right, like, at the corner of my laptop here, plugged in. It's like, how do I not notice that's not plugged in the entire time I'm recording? Because even if I'm looking at the screen, my peripheral vision can see the fucking microphone. And I've said this in the past and everything. I'm not going to fake a reaction for you guys. I'm not going to, like, pretend to go through it all again and pretend I haven't seen it. I won't do that for you. It's disingenuous. It's a lie. And it's just not something I'm willing to do. And I'm not going to just go through, like, the 3 episodes again and tell you. It's like, oh, I already saw these because of my stupidity, but we're still going to watch them again. But it's just not blind. I'm not going to do that either, because that hurts the reaction. Because I'm just going to be, like, fucking, like, disgusted with myself the entire time. Like, even more than I am currently. And it's just like, I'm going to be a lot quieter. I'm probably not going to say much. I might give like a couple thoughts here and there, but the better option here would be to just tell you what I thought of those 3 episodes and move on. I had to download the next 3 episodes because I didn't have those downloaded because I wasn't planning on getting them to them today. So yeah, I'm gonna give you my thoughts, my quick thoughts on each of the 3 episodes, 14 through 16, and then we're gonna react to to 17 through 19. So next week will be Islands. I was gonna do 14 through 16 this week, 17 through 19 next week, and then Islands the week after. But guess that plan is shot. We're just gonna have to do it this way now. Because the only other option at this point would just not be to record anything this week. To just, like, put up, like, a review, basically, of these 3 episodes. And it's like, I don't think that's fair either. I don't think that's fair to all of you. So, like I said, I'm just going to give you my thoughts, but we're still going to put up a reaction to 17 through 19. I apologize for this. It's my fuck up. And I will own that. And hopefully these next 3 episodes that we react to help bring up my mood a bit, because I am very much not in a good place after that. I'm not okay with that. But let's talk about these episodes. So 14 and 15 are kind of a 2-parter that follows up from the pre-boot reboot episodes ending. With it's all about the grass sword and the fin sword kind of coming together, creating a new being named Fern. And Fern at first thinks that he's the original Finn, but soon starts to realize he's not, kind of has this existential crisis going on. And these 2 episodes, like I said, they're basically a 2-parter. Throughout these 2 episodes, Fern has to kind of discover his own identity, trying to figure things out, also figure out the kind of limits to what it means to be a hero, while Finn is also trying to figure out himself what to do in the aftermath of all of this. In regards to Fern, in regards to Susan, all of this. And that's pretty much what those 2 episodes, 14 and 15, are. Fern is a pretty interesting character. I like the kind of depth that they're given in terms of the differences, clear differences between him and Finn, as well as him trying to figure out like what to be and what to do. There's also the aspect of the grass sword has like this sentient spider crab thing made of grass that doesn't seem hostile, but kind of combines itself with the fin that was in the fin sword. And that's kind of what's going on here. Although Fern also has his own personality. He has all of Finn's memories. He knows, like, all of that. But he has his own, like, personality and character and depth to him that is separate from the fin sword and the grass sword. It's hard to explain without having without you seeing the episode. It makes more sense in context, but like I said, I fucked that all up. It was really interesting though, and I do like that it gave us a 2-parter to follow up on the ending from before. But then we had Wheels. Wheels was a really interesting episode because we got to meet Bronwyn, Jake's granddaughter, and Kim Kil-won's daughter. Bronwyn is this cool teenager who likes to skateboard, is mostly focused around and thinking about that, and because of that, her grades are slipping in school. Kim Kil-won, being very proper and business-oriented, is not really Wow, I can't even speak. I'm fucking that up, too. Jesus, fuck. He's not really fond of that. He's he wants Bronwyn to do good in school and get good grades and stuff. So he kind of asks his father, Jake, to check in on her and find out what's going on. So at night, Jake follows her to this small, like, little skate area. It's basically just a single ramp. Half-pipe ramp, I think. And he, being Jake, gets involved and tries to get the other teenagers there and Bronwyn to think he's cool. Because, you know, let's be honest, Jake is a bit of a child himself. And he ends up embarrassing Bronwyn and showing her up, and this really hurts her. And it eventually leads to them having a skate-off, which Bronwyn wins and Jake gets injured at because he tries to copy her big practiced jump. And, you know, he's not practiced with it, so he gets hurt. But Bronwyn shows how much she does care about him. She checks in on him and makes sure he's okay. And they make up, and everything seems to be okay at that point. Kim Kil-won also actually, you know, fucking talks to his daughter, which is probably a smart idea in the first place, rather than having Jake try to do anything. And, like, he's like, oh, you're really good at this. This is pretty cool of you. But you really do need to get your grades up and stuff. He's complimenting her. He's acknowledging her interests. But he's still, like, impressing upon her the need to focus on her studies as well. That is good parenting. Genuinely. Because it's like you're telling her, it's like, oh yeah, this school stuff, it's kind of important. It's good to learn. But I'm not going to put down your hobbies and interests. I'm going to encourage that. But you have to have a balance there. You have to do a little of both. I like that. That's what a parent should say and do in that kind of situation. My only issue with the episode is that Jake never learned his lesson. He never, he didn't let her win, which I think would have been a better ending to that. Instead, Finn basically has to carry him off because he's injured and still trying to be cool. Jake never learns his lesson. He never actually properly makes up with Bronwyn. It's a little unsatisfying in that regard. But I like Bronwyn as a character. She's kind of like a typical skater teen. But that's not a bad thing. She's a really fun character. Really likable. Yeah. I just wish you could have seen my reaction to it, but, you know, I'm an asshole and an idiot. So, that's not happening. But now we get into 17 through 19, this week's episode, or this time, the episodes I'm reacting to. I mean, I got my mic plugged in now, so I know it'll work this time, but I'm just still so fucking irritated with this. I apologize for being such a moron. Let's just get into it. Let me cut in here real quick to remind you that we have a lot of awesome content on the channel. A plethora of series reactions every Monday through Friday, with 2 on Friday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday, as well as a few Let's Plays on the channel. We alternate days between Horizon Forbidden West and Baldur's Gate 3, and Anno Mutationum is on Saturdays. Please go to the description below and follow the link to this video's reaction. It is redirected for copyright. And don't forget to like and subscribe for all future content on Princess of Gay. Thank you so much. See you all at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Well, the last episode helped, I'll give it that much. The first 2, not so much. Let me get up the titles just so I can talk about them with everything. So first we had High Strangeness. This is one of those Adventure Time episodes, and there's quite a lot of them, obviously, that it's like, I feel like you need to be on drugs to understand or even enjoy. And it's like, I'm not saying like it's necessarily bad, and if people like it, that's fine. But it's like, I I don't get it. I don't get the appeal. I don't get the humor. I don't get the enjoyment from it. Um, Basically, Tree Trunks has a secret alien husband who she's been with, I guess, since before she even met Mr. Pig. And she has crossbreed kids with him, but only sees them like every few years or so normally. One day, while at a little celebration slash fireworks show held by Princess Bubblegum, she ends up getting pissed at Bubblegum, who she already doesn't like, because Bubblegum launches a probe that ends up hitting the alien spacecraft and unleashing a bunch of candy citizen seeds, I guess you would call them, into the spacecraft, and they start, taking over her alien family. So she makes a sign that just says fascist. It's like, Jesus. And becomes this revolutionary, even working with Starchy and other revolutionaries, and just like, eventually it all kind of works out because Princess Bubblegum is taken into the ship too, sees what she's accidentally done, and she explains that all she was trying to do was seed candy kingdoms on other planets, just in case Ooh went tits up. Tree Trunks kind of understands, refuses to be her friend, but says it's like, you know what, we'll help you in some way. And so the aliens agree to take the seeds back to their destroyed home planet to replant a society there. Which means that they're not going to see Tree Trunks again for 40 years. Meaning we'll probably not see them again at all during this series. Sure. The episode is just one big what the fuck. It's not entertaining to me. It's not fun to watch. It's like, honestly, even with drugs, I don't know if I would enjoy it. It's not my kind of episode. After that, we had Horse and Ball, the return of James Baxter, and the origin, actually. So James Baxter comes back to the treehouse. He's doing his normal thing, but this old mole thing, I think it said, explodes because it's at the end of its life, and this accidentally pops James Baxter's ball. He's kind of despondent because it's like, what is he without his ball, without being able to entertain the masses? And so while Finn brings him inside to try and cheer him up, Jake and BMO head out to Raggedy Princess's kingdom to try and get a new ball. Raggedy Princess hides the ball at first, and actually multiple balls, because reasons. But when she finds out James Baxter is an artist, like she thinks she is, I guess, she helps out. Meanwhile, back at the treehouse, Finn is trying to cheer up James Baxter, but it's not really working. Nothing's working. James Baxter's just completely despondent. And we see that we see a flashback to how it all started. James Baxter was apparently from like a modernized horse city, but had left after, I guess, becoming despondent with the way of life there. He ended up finding a tree trunk that has a bunch of garbage in it and found the ball there. He also found a bat who was crying. He entertained the bat using the ball, and got the name James Baxter by, misreading and mispronouncing the words games and bookstore. Games bookstore, James Baxter. It's kind of clever in a stupid way, which, Adventure Time, that kind of works. But we see that, that kind of just became his life. He became obsessed with doing that and helping people feel better. In the current day, Finn tries to help him with some advice from Shelby by basically telling him while he sleeps that he's okay. He's going to be okay, and he just needs to work on, being nice to himself and, doing things for himself. All of that jazz. So when James Baxter awakes and Jake and BMO come back at the balls, he decides, I don't need those anymore. He goes out and starts dancing and calling out his name again. And it's said that he's now performing for himself rather than others. Which, the idea of like an artist getting lost in and creating their identity around performing for others, and when losing that ability just, goes into a depression, but deciding to, like, perform for themselves and find a better, more healthy way of doing things after. It's like there's definitely a lesson in there towards artists of all kinds, and that's great, but it doesn't really speak to me that much personally. Like, there's nothing really about it that I guess you could say I don't already know. Like, with doing my YouTube videos, most of my videos get very few views, and I don't really do much of anything to change that. Like, I don't, like, do a lot that would, like, raise my views or anything like that. You notice it's like most of my videos get like maybe like 30 views at most, because I'm not doing these reactions and everything just for the sake of others. I'm doing them because I also enjoy doing them, because it's something I like, something I find happiness in. I'm doing them just as much for myself as I am to entertain you guys. And because of that, it's like, it's not about the number of views to me. It's not about, like, if I can make, like, a shit ton of money through AdSense or anything. For me, I just want to have fun doing this and entertain you guys along the way. The quality of that, to me, is more important than the quantity. I'm not going to, like, just adhere to the ideas of the YouTube algorithm and sell myself out and stuff just to gain more views and subscribers and, AdSense money or anything like that. Instead, I'd rather just do what I'm doing because it's fun. Because it makes me happy. And if it makes you guys happy along with it, those of you who are here, that's fine with me. Of course, when I fuck something up, like I did today, I do tend to get down in the dumps about it. But luckily, I don't usually stay super upset too long at a time. I tend to get over it pretty easily, especially if I'm, like, watching stuff or playing games or whatnot. And while this episode, especially because I just don't care about James Baxter, I don't see the appeal in his character. Even beyond just the episode's lessons and all, just being, like, not really anything new to me and not really appealing heavily to me. The third episode in this set, episode 19 here, Jelly Beans Have Power, was definitely the best of this set. This one is an important episode following up on the entire stuff with Patience St. Pim and Princess Bubblegum finding out she's the Candy Elemental. She is jealous of Slime Princess's control over her powers and the fact that she herself can barely do anything with hers. So she's trying to figure this out any way she can and ends up doing so through the mind. She's contacted by, I guess, the spirit of a former Candy Elemental, Chatsberry, who is voiced by Alan Tudyk, I guess. And he basically tells her, like, you're the one blocking this. You have to figure this out. You have the power inside of you. You can do all this cool stuff, but you need to figure out a way for you to do it. And so she's trying to figure this out. At first, she's able to just get jelly beans to come out better and everything, but it's always still just jelly beans. And suddenly, this Trapper Keeper, this Ice Trapper Keeper attacks the kingdom, which it's so very obviously ice. Like, they call it crystal and stuff, but it's like, that's just ice. And it becomes increasingly obvious it's also Patience St. Pim. There's just the connection there. So it attacks the kingdom and everything. And Bubblegum is trying to defend it, but, you know, not really able to do much. She ends up going into the mindscape and talking to Chatsberry again, and she kind of comes to realize that she does have to do this in her own way. That this is something that she can do, she just has to figure out what is the best way for her to do it. And the answer's been in her face the entire episode. She keeps talking about how, I'm a scientist, I should be able to figure this stuff out and everything. And that's exactly it. She's a scientist. She has to figure it out. She starts to be able to do it once she realizes the components that these other things are made of. Jelly beans are easy. But she figures, oh, so like I can combine this other stuff and I can make soda out of it. And so she starts to be able to create soda. Oh, to create these mints, I need to do this. And so she's thinking scientifically because that is her strong suit. And it starts to work. She's able to utilize it to destroy Patience St. Pim's Ice Trapper Keeper and save the Candy Kingdom. Although, by making it kind of explode, the Trapper Keeper turns to snow and, yeah, kind of messes with the Candy Kingdom. The citizens are not really super happy about this. They're cold, they're scared. And Bubblegum at the end is very clearly fucked up over this. And it's like, Jesus. Yeah, let's just give Bubblegum trauma. Because, you know, this character who has done terrible things in the past, but has actively tried to better herself from that. And, you know, who has a very deep admiration and love for her citizens. Yeah, let's just give her excessive trauma by making her accidentally hurt her own citizens, using the powers that she, like, so forcefully and aggressively wanted to get better at using. And, you know, it's just like, yeah, let's just add that to the mix. Lovely. It's like, Jesus. It was such a, like, sad way to end things off. Because even though the citizens will likely be fine and everything, and they'll get through this and all, it shows how much Patience St. Pim is setting things up to try and either take over or just, you know, I don't know, fuck over the other elementals because they wouldn't side with her. This is not going to end well. I don't know if this is going to be tackled in Islands or if this is going to wait till in the future, but yeah, this was definitely the most impressive, interesting episode of all 6 of these. Even the 3 that I fucked up on. That it was definitely the best of the 6. If I had to say after that, though, Wheels would be the second best. The worst was definitely High Strangeness. It was just, it's not a good episode. At least for me. Again, it's all subjective. It's all based on your tastes and what you look forward to in this show. For me, it's like the worst of Adventure Time. Adventure Time, for me, is at its worst when it's just, lol, I'm so random. Because it's like, nothing about that episode felt important. Nothing about it felt entertaining. It felt like it was just trying to be ridiculous and random and over the top for the sake of doing so. The only thing in it that felt like kind of like maybe setting up for something was Bubblegum's entire thing about like, oh, the Kingdom of Oo could like cease to exist or something could go wrong. That seems like a surprisingly high likelihood. That it's like that's the only thing that I feel has any sense of relevance. But that was just basically a throwaway line, a throwaway explanation for why she was doing what she was doing. The rest of the episode was just dumb bullshit. I did like Two Swords and Do No Harm. Those were pretty good. That was a pretty good two-parter to follow up on Fern. Horse and Ball, like I said, was just like not my thing. But yeah, Jelly Beans Have Power, definitely the best. Wheels, the second best. I just really wish you would have been able to see my reaction to those first 3. I apologize for that. It's just nothing I really could do at this point, so. Yeah. Next week we'll get to Islands. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry for fucking everything up with those first 3 episodes. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.